Singapore is a wealthy nation and island in Southeast Asia. A wealthy international financial center, the nation was once a British colonial trading port. There are 5.6 million people living there, and the property is 734.3 square kilometers in size. It is one of the world's most densely populated countries, with 75% of the population being Chinese, compared to Malay and Indian population. The country's major ethnic groups, cultures, identities are acknowledged, and there is a multicultural population. Singapore has 4 more languages. The 4 languages are English, Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil. The most often used language in many public services is English. According to Singapore's history, the nation evolved from a tiny fishing population into a modern one. Native Malay settlers first settled there, but the southernmost point of the Malay Peninsula attracted traders from all over the world. Singapore becomes a sovereign nation after gaining independence from Malaysia in 1965, headed by Lee Kuan Yew, a visionary leader. Singapore started a nation-building process with a priority on unity in society, education, and also economic growth. Singapore, a nation recognized for its effective governance, is now known as a global center for trade, technology, and also finance. The history of this country demonstrates dedication, flexibility, and a spirit of development.
What is the political issue in Singapore? Singapore uses a Westminster-style government and is a unitary parliamentary republic. The Prime Minister is the head of government and the President is the head of state. The lead by Lawrence Wong became Prime Minister in May 2024, succeeding Lee Hsien Loong. Since Singapore gained its independence in 1965, the People's Action Party (PAP) has controlled the country politics and won each general election. For the recent development in Singapore in 2022, Singapore repealed a colonial era law criminalizing sex between men. Same-sex marriage remain unrecognized. Other than that, the government has increased citizen engagement effects, such as the Forward Singapore initiative. Further describes criticism of its political system. Singapore is often praised for effective governance. Have 3 despite. The first one is high citizen satisfaction with the direction of the country. And second is strong economic performance and high living standard. And for the last is efficient public service and law corruption.
And now, for the security issues in Singapore. Security in Singapore is generally regarded as strong due to its advanced infrastructure, effective law enforcement, and strict legal frameworks. However, like any major city-state, Singapore faces various security issues, which can be broadly categorized into several areas. Firstly is the cybersecurity threats. Singapore is one of the world's leading financial and technological hubs, making a prime target for cyber attacks. Issues include cyber attacks on financial institutions. Due to its status as a global financial center, banks and other financial entities are often targeted by hackers seeking to steal sensitive data or disrupt operations. In response to this, the government has implemented Cybersecurity Act 2018 and has set up the Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore to safeguard against these threats. The second issue is terrorism and radicalization. Terrorist attacks. Although Singapore has never experienced a large-scale terrorist attack, the country is aware of the ongoing global threat of terrorism. Its proximity to conflict zones and its role as a regional hub make it a potential target. The government has ramped up counter-terrorism efforts, particularly since the rise of extremist groups such as ISIS. Radicalization. There are concerns about domestic radicalizations, especially through online platforms where individuals may be exposed to extremist ideologies. The government has enacted laws like the Internal Security Act to detain individuals suspected of being involved in terrorism. The Singapore Anti-Terrorism Centre of Excellence and Counter-Radicalization programs are in place to monitor and address these concerns. And lastly is the public safety and crime. Cybercrime, fraud, scams, and identity theft are increasing concerns in Singapore, especially as online shopping, banking, and social media platforms proliferate. Phishing scams and social engineering tactics are commonly used to exploit individuals and organizations. Street crime, while violent crime rates are very low in Singapore, petty crimes such as pickpocketing, scams, and shoplifting do occur, particularly in busy tourist areas. The Singapore Police Force, equipped with modern surveillance system and a low tolerance for crime, plays a key role in maintaining public safety. While Singapore remains one of the safest and most secure cities globally, these various security challenges require ongoing attention and adaptation. The country's strategic planning, robust security infrastructure, and international collaboration are essential to managing and mitigating these risks.
One of the economic issues in Singapore is aging population. Indeed, one of Singapore's major economic problems is the aging population. As the workforce stagnates, productivity decreases, and the population ages, Singapore's growth will be slower. As its population ages, Singapore is going through a rapid demographic shift. Low birth rates and longer life expectancies are the two main causes of this. The fertility rate is only 1.1 to 1.2 children per woman, which is significantly less than the replacement level of 2.1 due to this combination. There are more elderly people than people of working age, which creates a number of economic difficulties. The number of people in the labor force drops as the proportion of elderly people rises. As a result, the workforce becomes smaller, which may have a bad impact on economic growth and productivity. A smaller working population holds the burden of handling a greater number of retirees, which could result in a higher workload, more stress, and even employee burnout.
Singapore, while often lauded for its economic success, faces several social issues that reflect its unique demographic and cultural makeup. Some of the key social issues in Singapore include income inequality. Despite its high standard of living, Singapore has a significant income disparity. The rich have seen substantial wealth growth, while lower income groups, particularly in the working class, face challenges in affording housing, education, and healthcare. The government has initiated programs to address this, such as progressive taxes and subsidies, but inequality remains a concern. For the second issue is housing affordability. The Singaporean government has developed an intensive public housing program with more than 18% of residents living in government-built flats. However, as property prices have risen, even public housing can be affordable for some, particularly the younger generation who may struggle with high property prices and long waiting time. For the third issue is aging population. Singapore has one of the fastest aging population in the world. As the proportion of elderly citizens increase, there is growing pressure on healthcare service, retirement savings, and elderly care infrastructure. This demographic shift also creates challenges in maintaining and sustainable workforce and ensuring that older citizens can continue to contribute to the economy. For the fourth issue is foreign worker dependency. Singapore relies heavily on foreign labor for various sectors such as construction, domestic work, and service. The treatment of foreign workers, particularly those from countries like Bangladesh and India, has been a continuous issue. Reports of poor living conditions and low wages for these workers have drawn criticism, with calls for improved rights and better living standards. For the last issue is mental health stigma. Mental health issues are increasingly recognized in Singapore, but there is still significant stigma surrounding mental illness. Many people hesitate to seek professional help due to fear of judgment or discrimination, and mental health services are often underutilized compared to physical health services. For that, the issue highlights the complexities of maintaining a prosperous and harmonious society while addressing the needs and challenges of a diverse population is a rapidly changing global landscape.
In conclusion, the fact that a nation's development is challenging cannot be denied. Issues that arise frequently in the nation include those related to politics, security, economy, and the society. It is important that people in charge address the issues at hand right now. A nation's problems have their own solution, but Singaporeans are able to solve their own problems, which is one of the reasons their nation is seen as having effective government.